I think your starting point is to think about what you want your research to find out, what your focus is. If, for example, you are looking at trends in the population, then you might look towards things like census data. If you are interested in people's behaviours and their attitudes and their experiences, then you probably want to start with some approach to qualitative data collection, people's views, their perspectives, their feelings about the world. Again, I think it depends on the approach you're taking. If you're dealing with data that's already in the public domain, social issue reports, census data, then it's a case of how you log that data, how you make sure that you know exactly what's in there at the point where you want to bring that data in to support your kind of discussion and your conclusions. If it's data that you've collected yourself through interviews, for example, then I think digital audio recording is a must, so that when you do come to the point of analysing your data, you've got all the data that you need. One of the drawbacks of using less complete methods of recording qualitative data, for example, note-taking, is that you only pay attention to the things that you're interested in, rather than the things that the person's saying. So I think anything that allows you to get a complete record is absolutely vital. Yeah, I think the key word in any information we gather is validity. If we're gathering literature, existing research, we want to be sure that it's valid, it's reputable, it's from a credible source, and it has a direct relevance to the research question we're interested in. In terms of prioritising the data that you might want to collect from your subjects, and I think making sure that they are knowledgeable about the topic you're interested in, or the experiences you're interested in, are absolutely vital. I think it's also really important to realise that you can't possibly collect data from all the sources you're interested in. So you prioritise by sampling. Sometimes you take a purposeful sample. You decide as a group of people and you want to speak to all of them about a particular issue. Other times you'll need to sample carefully, as you do in census data collection or opinion polls. And we want to look at taking subsets of people that represent the wider groups we're interested in, and then targeting them for data collection. Yeah, I think you need to be very careful to ensure that you collect as full and complete records as possible. That can apply to collecting literature, so make sure you know exactly where you found journal papers, make sure you know exactly the source when you go back to them, and also you need to be sure of the full kind of source of your data in terms of showing the validity and reliability of your own research findings. So, for example, being able to give a full reference list so that people can find the sources that you've drawn upon. I think in terms of collecting your own original data, for example, through surveys or questionnaires, then be absolutely meticulous about creating a full record for an interview through, for example, digital recording. Be absolutely meticulous about being able to identify each person that you've spoken to. Not by name, usually by some sort of number you might assign to each subject, but you need to be absolutely sure who said what, when it's being said, and the broader kind of context that it sits within.